Let me say.
Hold on.
No, wait. No,
Wait, you hold up. We got a new member here, right? Sitting right across from me. Don't tell him to hold up.
Hey, let the record show $50.
There we go. Our new.
Give me a mullet. That's all.
This
I might need more than that for the mullet, but we're happy to have you as an Impact Fund member now.
Welcome to Crowning Connections with Rob Clemons and Monarch Roofing. I am super excited today. We've got a full cast, and we are actually located at Coastal Carolina University. It is actually homecoming week, so there's a lot of exciting things to be done this week. I've got my co-host, Denielle Dyke with me. Denielle, how's it going?
Good, great.
You're looking well. How's everything going lately?
It's been going awesome. I have the best boss ever. I'm here at my alma mater. It's a good day.
You can tell she works for me when she's saying these kinds of things. Now, actually, little known fact, Denielle, I was hungry coming into this interview today, so she gives me a protein bar, and she says this is going to be like this protein bar is the best of all of them. It was like probably one of the hardest experiences ever. And then I had
the
to
worst
look.
one you had.
Absolutely, and then I had to look at her and explain to her that this is not a good protein bar, and which is.
He's just being a giant baby. It tastes like cookie dough.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. Well, it is cookie dough mixed with like something like sawdust or something. Yeah, right.
Protein.
Yeah.
But it works when it doesn't taste good. That's how you know a protein bar is doing its job.
Absolutely.
So, but without further ado, I've got a couple of gentlemen here that I'm super excited to have. I actually have Vinny Accardi, also known as String Bean. I've come to be told, which is very powerful, and we want to hear the story later, String Bean. And then we have actually Ryan Meyer here, and these guys are actually representing the Chanticleer Athletic Foundation, doing a very good thing for the school. Welcome, fellas. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, happy to be here. Excited for the invite and happy to have you guys out to campus as a couple fellow alum. Me too, Vinny, the outcast over here, String Bean, but
yeah.
Excited for the podcast.
I mean, the String Bean's got to make it up right off the bat for not being a Coastal Carolina alum, but it's okay.
Well, thank you guys for having us, and we welcome everyone from Monarch here to Coastal and coming out to Brook Stadium and getting a look at the field before we get ready to kick things off here on Saturday. So, we're happy to have you here. Welcome.
I appreciate you guys having us. I mean, this has got to be an exciting week. I mean, what kinds of things do you guys personally have to do when homecoming week is getting going?
Yeah, we're just getting ready to welcome back a ton of alum, just from the normal student body to former athletes. I know we got a lot of former football players coming into town, so excited to greet them and have them in the game and be a part of that special day. We have an alumni golf tournament coming up that we don't have our hands on as far as putting it on and working it, but we're going to be a part of it, which will be awesome just to see everybody coming back and supporting Coastal as a university all together.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's come such a long way, right?
It certainly has. I was here at Coastal Carolina back in 2010 as an employee at a previous university that I was at, and was the visiting administration and team, and to see its evolution. It continues to grow leaps and bounds each semester, each year. So to be a part of this is pretty special, and to be along for the ride, it's been a great opportunity for me, and to work alongside Ryan and the rest of our CAF staff, led by our executive director, Kelly Moore. And Ryan touched upon it before. We have a number of things happening this week. We have our Hall of Fame induction that will take place on Friday, and then we'll do an on-field recognition of all of our new Hall of Famers. There'll be two classes, the class from last year because of COVID, and then this year's new inductees. But we'll have a number of different alumni events in partnership with our wonderful colleagues at the Office of Alumni Engagement, and of course the number of events that athletics and the CAF, CCU Alumni Engagement Office will be hosting. It'll be great. It'll be a busy time for sure, but there's no better place than a college campus, because you certainly can feed off the energy of your alumni, your faculty, staff, and your student body.
Man, that's amazing, and Coastal has come such a long way over the years, and it's really, I'm like the elder statesman here. It's always kind of tough. I remember when I was the youngest guy in the room, and now I'm like, oh man, I graduated in 2000. And it's like people are like, oh really? where's your walker at and stuff, like, but no, I mean, the school has come such a long way, and it's powerful because if you're not watching the video and you're just hearing the podcast, you can't see the imagery, but I look at the amazing things out here, and just seeing the Josh Norman's name up on the field house up there, and a former alum that has donated to the stadium, and what things that's done. And I do want to talk a little bit more about donations today for sure. But I mean, if we can, I'd love to hear, like Denielle, when you went to Coastal, I mean, how much has it changed in the last, few years?
Oh, a ton. I mean, just the football stadium alone is completely different. It's crazy how much this school has grown. And even when I was here towards like the end of my master's degree and everything, it still has that small, like, kind of feel, like, where it's intimate and you get to know your teachers and you get to know everybody, in your classes and stuff. But it's big enough that it's just like, it's grown like crazy, and it's such an awesome, university.
Yeah, Ryan, same thing for you. I mean, what have you seen in the last few years? What's the biggest differences that you've seen since you kind of went here and graduated?
Right, yeah, so I came down here for grad school in 2017. I didn't go here for undergrad, but visiting the campus in 2016, it was a very small campus, homey feel, but you see different people every day, and everyone's super friendly. That part hasn't changed, which is awesome, but seeing the football stadium especially grow, and just the success of all of our sports teams, it's been really exciting to watch while keeping that hometown, small, polite feeling all at the same time. So it's been really cool to see.
I mean, I'll tell you this from me. So, graduating in 2000, I can tell you how much of a difference that the sports programs, in particular football program, has made for Coastal Carolina. Because, I mean, there was a time where, we've had a nationally accredited business school for years, right? And when I first graduated, I remember, you meet people from out of the state and they'd say, "Where'd you go to school?" And I almost felt like I always had to preface it. I'd say, "I went to Coastal Carolina University. It's got a nationally accredited business school." And I almost came with a resume when you do it. And now, because people wouldn't necessarily know where it was. And now when you say Coastal Carolina, they're like, "Oh, wow. Yeah, I know where you guys are. You got a nice football team and things." So you can never underestimate the success of the sports programs, which is one of the reasons I was really excited about having you guys on here today. So, yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just, for me, coming as a visiting opponent, when you have an opportunity, you usually tour another campus. Obviously, throughout my process of coming on board here to interview, I came in a day early to give my own self a tour and see how much it has grown, and it truly has. I mean, I remember being on the visiting sidelines, as I said before, and this, where we're sitting today inside, or whether we went outside, did not exist, right? So then you look at the other facilities that have seen upgrades because of people who are supporters of the CAF, alumni who are board members, and then support and believe in what potential Coastal has yet to achieve and can achieve, with people giving back and supporting and being a part of what we're trying to accomplish, to support all of our programs and 450 student athletes. So I've certainly seen the investment made. It's now our jobs as a team here, Ryan and I, and as we join the hardworking team that was already in place, to continue to strive to achieve the goals and aspirations that we have, not only for the CAF, but for the university as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, tell me, what's the, do you guys know roughly what's the enrollment at Coastal Carolina right now?
Yeah, the undergrad enrollment is just shy of 11,000. So
Wow.
They're sitting at about 10,500, rough number. It's between 10 and 11. But yeah, it's grown tremendously. When I came in, I believe it was at like 8,500 or 9,000. So just in the last 4 years, we've seen some tremendous growth. And this year's freshman class was our biggest incoming class.
Oh, no kidding. I get this question a lot. People will say to me, "Oh, how big can Coastal get?" I mean, sometimes schools are like, "Oh, I'll just take more and more people." But is there roughly a limit on where Coastal wants to grow to? And I know that might not be necessarily in your wheelhouse, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure of an exact number off the top of my head. That would probably be more of an admissions and President Benson question, but I'm sure they'd like to see it get a little bit bigger, while still maintaining that small size feel. I don't think we'll ever get to Clemson size, but seeing another 5,000 to 7,000 students in the next 15 to 20 years, I think could be realistic.
Wow. And you know, I don't think every school has aspirations to get to the Clemson size. In fact, one of the most beautiful things about Coastal, and for any student who's considering going to Coastal, I can tell you, it never did lose that small school feel. And it's really powerful. I came from University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and it's such a spread out campus and nobody knew each other. And then you come down here and just to have the, you know, people walking around and kind of everybody kind of knows each other a little bit. It's just such a powerful thing. I love that about the school. So definitely hope they never lose that feeling for things. So, well, let's talk a little bit about the president. I mean, you just mentioned him a minute ago, doing a fantastic job. Have you seen any, like, you know, particularly great changes in the last year that, you know, you guys feel like that you'd comment on?
Sure. I mean, I've been here a little bit more than like 100 days. So to give you some, but I've been a part of and had the opportunity to be a part of 2 other universities, one as an undergrad student, one as a graduate student and an employee at that university. But the relationship that we as an athletic program and as the CAF has with our president is fantastic. I really think it really takes someone in that leadership role to believe in athletics and what it can do, not only for the 19 programs that we have and our 450 student athletes, but what it can do for the school as a whole. And there's some, you know, you deal with this across the country where faculty and staff may not be fans of athletics because of the resources that are given, but the opportunity that athletics has to be the welcoming at your front door. I don't want to say it's a welcome mat because the mat gets the impression of being stepped on, right? But it's a welcome opportunity. It brings new eyes to people who may have not known about Coastal. But when you bring up Coastal Carolina University now, and the Chanticleers, and the teal, and the uniforms, and the helmets, from a football perspective, or from baseball, softball, men's or women's soccer, women's lacrosse, we can run through the gamut. It helps to have a president that is behind athletics and that believes in it could help the other parts of the university.
No
And
question.
how it can help it is exactly how do you get from 10,000, 11,000 undergraduate students? It's where you're in the top 25 all of last year, even during a COVID year, and you're playing a game at Brooks Stadium, yes, with limited capacity due to COVID restrictions, against BYU on national TV. And they're showing a commercial on television during the break of what Coastal Carolina University has to offer. It's showing the campus, it's showing the facilities, and maybe you're doing an interview with the head coach or one of our student athletes on our football team about what their experience is like being at Coastal and what they've seen from their perspective, being a dedicated student athlete to our program and what they've seen as far as the investment made both for the university and improving all of our facilities in addition to improving and adding additional athletic facilities.
I mean, I totally agree. One thing, and again, talking as an alum, I can say this completely. And this is from the bottom of my heart. My degree, you know, my bachelor's of science in business administration, I feel like it's worth 10 times what it was when I graduated. And I really do thank the athletic programs for that. So, you know, I mean, it makes a difference. I feel it. And I think that a lot of the school members feel it. So definitely a powerful thing you guys are doing. And so with that being said, I wanted to ask you, who is maybe the most famous past Coastal person that you guys might have met? I know, Ryan, you've been here for a little while, but have you met a Josh Norman, for example, or a Tyler Thigpen or any of those guys?
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to meet both Tyler Thigpen and Josh Norman, more so in passing. It was when I was a grad assistant for the program, so I wasn't as hands-on involved as I am now being on full-time, but they're both great guys. Tyler always comes out to our alumni golf tournament, usually before homecoming, participates in that, big supporter of Coastal still, which is awesome. And the same thing with Josh. He came here 3 years ago for the football game to get recognized with his brother Mario for the Fieldhouse sponsorship and some other scholarship money he gave as well. Both great guys, huge supporters of Coastal, so we love to see that.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I just love that. I think it really inspires everybody too. And it's like anything else. It inspires you to know that if you come to Coastal, you can do good things. I remember that BYU game last year, and who was it? Zach Wilson, the quarterback for them. You know, he gets drafted, I think, number 2 in the NFL draft. and Coastal handled him. I mean, all respect to Zach Wilson, we handled him, did we not?
No, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
Awesome. No argument for me.
I mean, hey, you got to give a shout out to all the players and the coaching staff here. They're just phenomenal guys. So, well, let's segue into something that's really specific to you guys. We're talking about the CAF, which is the Chanticleer Athletic Foundation. Tell us a little bit about that program.
Yeah, so our main mission is to fundraise money for all of our student athletes on campus. Vinny mentioned earlier we have roughly 450. So that's anything from nutrition to equipment, gear, giving them the essentials needed to compete on a national level and reach the high aspirations that all the coaches have for their different programs.
Nice.
Yeah, each of us have respective roles. We're on a team of 5, and we have a great young man who is an intern with our group for this semester, and we have a great group of student ambassadors that work our football games and do a fantastic job of representing the entire student body at Coastal Carolina and being great hospital hosts inside this wet zone and Loge Box area. And for me, and Ryan, we have joined a fantastic team led by Kelly Moore, and we have great colleagues in Lexi and Donna who have done a fantastic job, and the previous people that were here in their respective roles to continue to build. And right now it's about trying to continue to grow and meet the demands that our coaches have for our student athletes and our administration has for our entire athletics program. So it's our responsibility to connect, engage, and reconnect with a lot of our alumni, whether they were student athletes or whether they were alumni like yourself who were a part of the Wall College of Business, College of Science, and the other programs that are offered here at Coastal. And fans, young and old, continue to come on board and support and find out ways to really help us continue on this upward trajectory.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was not a what you would call a traditional athlete here. I used the gym, and that was good. And I was also the vice president of the international club, which was very fascinating because I was like the only American in the club at that time. But hey, I represented. I did my part. I had to teach him about eating hamburgers and stuff like that. Anyway, whatever. I didn't have much more to contribute. Hey, so I was looking at some of the information that you guys had here. It was talking about the average student athlete, and it said that they cost right under $58,000 when you're talking about having a student athlete here, and there's all the things that Ryan, you mentioned, that goes into that. So you can't underscore enough how important it is to have alumni that really get it and understand that this is good for our for ourselves, but for the school, how much it does. What's the best way for somebody to get involved if you want to help out the school, you want to help out the athletic fund?
Yeah, if you have a favorite sport or you're just looking to help out the general athletic fund in general, that's our impact fund that we have through the CAF. So all that money goes to the general fund, which our executive director, Kelly Moore, sits down with Matt Hogue, our athletic director, and they assign that to each sports team where they see needed each fiscal year. But you are able to give to your favorite sport if you're an alumni as well.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I think, for Ryan and I, it's working together cohesively with our team and collaborating to find out what the needs of our coaches are and athletic administration, and to be able to provide them with the resources that they need. The thing about fundraising in general, whether you're fundraising in academia or athletics, it's a long game, but the most important part is we get people engaged and they feel the connection. Beyond just being a fan, it's a little bit more of a unique opportunity where you're feeling a part of the program and what you're giving back, regardless if it's $1 or $1 million, you feel like you're making a difference and a direct impact. And Brian does a fantastic job with Lexi leading our operations and trying to grow our impact fund, get members to be a part of that. What the impact fund does is it supports unrestricted giving. Unrestricted giving is at all schools across the country, where it allows our executive director to meet with our senior administrators in athletics to figure out what the needs and priorities are of our coaches and teams and where we can help in those areas with the unrestricted money that we receive. But you also can, as Ryan mentioned, directly impact your program or directly impact the growth from a capital project perspective and help us build the facilities and or infrastructure needed to continue on this upward trajectory. So there's many different ways. I think Ryan does a fantastic job of just really hey, want to get involved? This is how you get involved initially, and then we can continue to have those conversations as you feel more a part of the program and what you're doing is making a difference. And maybe the people you bring to a game, whether it be colleagues from Monarch or your family or your friends who are fellow alumni, are coming back and say, hey, Rob, Denielle, how'd you get involved? Oh, well, at first it was Monarch Roofing getting involved with the CAF, but then I started to bring the family around, or my fellow Wall College of Business alums with me to a game, and then I brought my friends from this game, and they came to homecoming, and then from there, they said, oh, how can we come back to a basketball game or to a baseball game? And it's, again, hey, having that connection to the CAF, the involvement, and go from there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know that when you look at the ability to give, I think it's so important for people to understand if you can give $100, that's a very, very nice thing, and it sometimes it's like people feel like, oh, well, I can only give this. It's like any amount you can give is a big plus, and it goes to a good cause. So, I mean, I think that's a really powerful thing just to take away from this. One thing, I guess, can we talk about the indoor training facility? Is that
Sure.
a thing? All right, perfect.
Yeah,
Tell us
it's a
about this,
thing.
man. Yeah.
Yeah. We have, obviously, I think we touched upon it before about the athletics being this welcoming and entryway for new people, friends, partners of Coastal, right? Of course, alumni and getting them re-engaged, but Coastal, and you asked Ryan before about missions and growth and things like that along. On Friday, we announced that we're going to be, not we as in the CAF, but the university had announced that there's going to be growth in our academia programs and building some new academic buildings that tie into our sports medicine program, medicine in general, to give our students here another profession and more majors to pursue.
Wow.
Right? That would be tied in long-term vision to the future growth and aspirations of what Coastal aspires to be. But, for those who are listening and are watching and live and reside in the Myrtle Beach area, I've only resided here for the last 3 months or so the weather could be fluctuating at times, especially during the summertime. So if you're here in preseason for men's or women's soccer, men's and women's golf, and for football, they're out here training early in the morning or in the afternoon, and it's hot and humid, or that spot thunderstorm or rain shower could pop in, and the indoor practice facility gives our teams the opportunity, if they're outside, to head indoors, or to just head indoors to a climate controlled environment. And we'll really give us, when I say that, us being Coastal Carolina University, the opportunity for our athletic programs, our intramurals program, our spirit groups, outside potentially, I don't want to go on the record saying it's a definite, but community outside organizations utilizing this facility that could be beneficial not only to our football program, but to all 19 of our programs, all 450 of our student athletes, all 10 to 11,000 of our undergraduates who play and participate in student organizations or intramurals. And of course, our spirit groups who do a fantastic job on our game days, whether it be for volleyball, basketball, or football, trying to get our crowd involved and engaged with what's happening, during all of our events that we have here.
It's a different world down here, though, right? Like, you're not used to, so you're getting a taste of this humidity for the first time. I mean, and until you've been in it, it's just unlike anything. So I'll get overconfident. I'll go to the gym and start running on the treadmill. It's like, oh yeah, I can bang out 5 miles like nothing on a treadmill. And then you try to run in this heat, and it's like a mile in, I'm like, oh. And so when I think of those football players out there wearing those pads and, just in the middle of, really when they're doing some of the biggest training, it's got to be brutal. So I'm sure they're gonna like it, but also these guys are kind of macho. Maybe, I don't know if they're even gonna use the indoor training, right? They're gonna be like, oh, we don't need that.
Well, if I could be in a climate-controlled environment, which with heat and humidity in a great roof, possibly from Monarch in the future.
Oh yeah, of course.
I would look to want to not be outside in a thunderstorm.
Yeah, well,
or
for sure.
With lightning in the area, that type of thing. But I think from a facility standpoint, you look around, right, and we don't like to reference our peers, but we will, because they've achieved great things and they have a long-standing history at Clemson and the University of South Carolina, but they have those type of facilities. So when you are a coach sitting on the opposite end of a table of a young man or woman with their parents and saying, hey, where would my son or daughter be training? Well, we have a state-of-the-art weight room and strength and conditioning area provided to us by Mario and Josh Norman in the field house there.
Man.
But we need a place to be inside, so when, I wake up in the morning to come into the office and I open my apartment door and the humidity hits me in the face, and I know in my head the men's and women's golf team usually runs on the turf at 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning prior to football coming on for preseason training camp. If the humidity hit me this morning and I'm dressed in lightweight slacks and a polo, well, they're about to put on, shells and a helmet and be in some black practice jerseys. We need to put them inside, and we need to have our men's and women's golf team know that they can come and be inside and do their conditioning workouts indoors, where that doesn't have to be a factor.
I mean, I think it's awesome. And also, it just actually doubles the amount of training areas you have all of a sudden. So, I mean, like on top of everything, it's like more training. And that's what we want from our athletes, training all the time. We want to kick everybody's butts, right?
We want the classroom too.
And, exactly, But maybe they could be on the treadmill, like reading their book. Well, I don't know. Anyway,
has brought us a long way.
Come on, this is athletic fun, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, listen. When I was at Coastal, and you mentioned the athletic facility over there, I'm going to call it the gym, but that thing's amazing. So when I was going to Coastal, we had maybe 2 bench presses and a squat rack, and it was like, yeah, I'm ready.
Wasn't his gym our office?
It is.
I thought I recognized that place.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
Yep, it's where all the SID guys are at in the back there.
Are the weights still in your room? Do you work? Oh, okay.
I'm too old, but no. No.
Okay, Ryan. So this is the part of the show I need to. I always ask this: how much do you bench press?
Ooh, honest answer, probably looking at about 235.
235. Are you repping that, or is that a one-timer?
Oh, that's one.
Still pretty legit. You're throwing 2 plates on each side.
String bean is not lifting.
I was about to ask, what's the string bean? How do you get that title?
So
he got his butt whooped.
It was for charity.
For a good cause.
Good cause.
For a good cause. So it was a charity boxing event. Actually, my grandmother just watched it 2 weeks ago for the first time. My uncle works in a car dealership in Ohio, and my grandparents recently moved there, and he was scrolling through my LinkedIn, and it's on my LinkedIn profile. And I'm not ashamed of it because it was a great opportunity to raise money for great causes in the area that I'm from. It was an opportunity to get in the best shape I've ever been in my life, between working out 3 days a week for strength training and then 3 days a week boxing. That was 6 days a week in the gym, either in a traditional gym or in a boxing gym. And the name String Bean just came from, my figure doesn't look like
I love it.
Long and lengthy, but kind of had some, the P's are kind of sticking out in certain spots, right?
Oh, okay, all right.
Not because of muscle, because of sheer, weight gain.
The way you started going for a minute, he was talking about his figure. I was like, you have legs for days over there, Benny. I got to tell you, man.
That's where the name came from. So, I have a great T-shirt. I don't think I've yet to wear it into the office, but I shall. It's a picture when I was, as part of my, GoFundMe strategy from a fundraising perspective, of course, it was getting partners to be on my shorts or be on my ring jacket, things like that. And then I was also doing personal asks through a GoFundMe page. And if you donated to my page, and all the proceeds went to this respective organization that then gave it out to these respective charities, again from where I live. But I gave a T-shirt out, and on the T-shirt it was a picture of an animated string bean with boxing gloves on. I had someone do that graphically. And on the back, it just said Team String Bean on the back.
Well, and plus, the good thing is that's intimidating. I mean, you don't want to see a string bean that's animated. I mean, the other guy
with the nickname like that, he's got nothing to lose.
I was going to say,
to lose.
This is true.
You win.
Yeah, because if the other guy you were boxing was named like the Juggernaut or something, you whipped his butt. There's no coming back from that, right?
The guy I boxed was a gentleman named Ernest Fair, and he was fantastic. And what had happened was, they couldn't find an opponent for me at my size.
Okay.
I'm not that anymore, but I'm 5'11", 165.
Okay.
So they couldn't find anybody. So I was training with him in the boxing gym, and they were like, hey, he's not going to be able to fight in the charity boxing match. Do you want to fight in the charity boxing match? And he was like, sure. I've been sparring with him and working out with him, so I might as well just do it for real for 3 rounds and for a minute. And it was great. I mean, I had my entire family there.
And you
All
won.
my friends. There's no winner or loser. I would say I'll be very, very transparent and candid. Ryan knows this. As I was with you when I first met you all, and you gave us this great opportunity today. I did not win. He is far better athlete.
And even though he's 75 years old, the other guy, it's still, you can't be disappointed. And I'm kidding. I don't know how old he is. Full disclosure.
Yes. As far as him being, he had a walker.
Right.
He could barely see. His glasses were.
He's like punching the side, like the. Yeah.
I ran into his.
Right.
And then Ryan, we had this friendly. We're competitive people within our office.
Yeah.
Lexi, part of softball. Kelly cheered at Coastal. Ryan baseball, hockey, golf. I try to be halfway decent, if not average, at all those.
At all those,
but
yeah.
It was just a fantastic opportunity to learn a sport, and we talk in the office about, hey, I'm gonna go get some gloves and put on your boxing shoes again and get back into the ring.
Absolutely.
It might happen. It just won't happen on the campus of CCU. It will have to happen at a undisclosed location.
Ring in the back of Monarch.
We do have a ring in the back of Monarch. Well, no, not really. But still, I mean, Denielle's always planting these ideas, and the next thing you know, we might build one. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Listen, boxing is a fantastic sport, and I tell Ryan all the time, it's an art. He's like, oh, I'm like, listen, we don't go in the boxing ring and just, it's not an all kinds of barstool sports, and they do their rough and rowdy and their brawl, and those guys do a fantastic job and have grown their company and do this event that fans get into, their audience. But this is, we're gonna dance a little bit and feel each other out, and then eventually he'll probably come over with some type. I think he's
eventually gonna throw a punch or two,
right hand, and then try to stick a couple jabs. And I tried to focus on the body. It didn't work that much, because when you duck your head and you're not looking at your opponent, your punches tend to be too low, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I do know what you mean. A lot of penalties happen in this match over here. Yeah.
Point deduction.
Which is a shame, because you would have won by a landslide if it wasn't for that.
Yes, I know.
My gosh.
75 years old, walker, thick glasses.
Right. Yeah. God rest his soul. No, I'm just kidding.
She is no longer with us.
It just turned dark.
Yes.
Hey, in all seriousness, though, that's awesome, though. You raise some money for charity, and that's what it's all about. So in that way, everybody was a winner.
Yep.
Just not in the boxing ring, you weren't a winner, but everything else you were a winner about. Yeah, right. Perfect.
How many of those shirts still exist?
Yes, we need
shirts?
some.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Are there still
It's a great
extras?
question. I have at least have one. I know a lot of my friends still have them, who supported. I have probably a couple, 3 or 4 in the move that I made. Again, we referenced it earlier. I moved from New York, so it was the first time I'm ever living outside of New York. Mm-hmm. So during that transition, there were a lot of pile for the goodwill. Right. Pack in the suitcase. So
Get rid of the bad memories of getting beat up by a 75-year-old.
Secretly he burnt them all in the backyard.
we had a moment in front of a campfire, a barrel, and we threw some T-shirts in there and poured some gasoline in a match, and we reflected upon that with watching the video.
It was a beautiful moment.
Only recently, my 89 and 86, 87-year-old grandparents got a chance to witness this occurring. You boxed? Yeah, like 10 years ago.
It was actually his grandpa that won the fight.
right. Oh, the truth comes out, right?
So I will be happy to come by the Monarch roofing office and showcase my merchandise.
We love that.
Yes,
that 100% take you up on that for sure.
It's legit.
Yeah,
in a frame, we can put it in the
yeah, and he said gentlemen's boxing, which is usually like this.
What would be your boxing name?
My boxing name?
Yeah, you have to have a nickname. So Denielle.
It's got to be something tough.
The Monarch Maniac.
Yes, that's you.
Yeah,
That's you.
That's
yeah,
you.
I'm definitely. I'm maniac,
to
but
be.
I think she's like a Thunder, maybe Denielle Thunder Van Dyke.
I
It
was
sounds kind
thinking
of
something about sloths, but that's
Oh, yeah.
probably not a good thing for
little known fact.
boxers.
This one's a big fan of sloths, and I'm like,
got
oh, how
long
are they?
arms.
Yeah, she just loves them, and I'm like, hey, how are they as pets? She's like,
I
they're
don't.
terrible.
Yeah.
She does the long arms, slow movement, very methodical.
Yeah, I'd be very bad. It'd be awful.
Yeah. Danielle the Sloth Van Dyke. Yeah, I don't know.
leaning towards honey badger
Honey Badger.
Oh.
because I like the don't care attitude of the honey badger, but I'm not as quick as a honey badger would be. So that was out of the question.
That's
So
true.
I again looked at the old complexion in the mirror and said, I'm a string bean.
Yeah.
So you came up with the nickname for yourself?
Yes.
And that's great.
I like it. I like it.
That's right.
Yeah, I wasn't. People helped with the design of the shirt and of the graphic to be there, and I had a lot of people be a part of that. But let's get back to the CAF.
Well, yeah, right. We covered the boxing. No, actually, that was great stuff. But Ryan, you're not getting off that easy. What's your nickname, man? We need it. We need it.
Jeez. Well, to be completely honest here, a nickname I was given at my prior job before Coastal
Oh yes.
Oh, bring it.
was Precious. Because I was young and fresh out of school, so I was tabbed that by our marketing director at the city of North Myrtle Beach, and it has continued
Oh.
to live on in our office at the CAF because my
That's what we
boss at
call facts.
These are facts. These are secrets coming in. And by the way, Ryan, I appreciate your honesty. I don't think I would have told anybody that.
if Vinny admitted to calling himself String Bean, so
Yeah, well, there you go.
No
Right.
shame. I will.
we'll be honest for the listeners
I
at home.
should update my LinkedIn profile and put it as Vincent, Vinny, String Bean, Accardi.
That's absolutely. Hey, I think we all have a deal today. If you'll put Precious in yours, I'll put Maniac in mine, and she's Sloth.
I guess so.
I guess we're gonna do that.
Own it. Just gonna-
Yeah.
His birthday cake last month was a picture with his fabulous mullet that he had.
Oh, no way.
Over here, he was all on board. But he had to do it. Business professional. Not saying that for
Hey.
all those listeners and viewers out there that mullets are not professional, but he kept his well groomed. He on tap. He decided to cut it and part ways with it. It was a very traumatic and moment. But his
It was
his
traumatic.
birthday cake said, not "Happy Birthday, Ryan," said "Happy Birthday, Precious," with a picture of him with his fabulous mullet.
Which is. That's amazing. And by the way, how do you get rid of a mullet? What's the proper way to do it? Do you have to just shave your whole head, or do
yeah, you
Yeah.
pretty much go for something I got on right now. You just
Nice.
get a 2 or 3 on the sides to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And you just
So it's
leave
still
the
business
top.
in the front, no party in the back.
Where's this picture? I feel
I
like
have
need-
it.
I need to
We
see
need
the
this,
mullet.
yeah,
We need
for
to-
verification. Oh, he's
Yeah, I would say he's
I
locked
thought he was
and
gonna
loaded, probably. Yeah.
I honestly thought Vinny was whipping his
Wallet
wallet
size.
out, and he was gonna be like, "Yeah, I care. I take this everywhere, of course."
Printed, it's right there.
executive director Kelly Moore does have a picture of the mullet.
I
in
think
his
she
office.
threw it away.
Oh no!
She did.
People were getting scared.
Yeah, right.
That's good.
They're like,
So it's his profile picture when you call my.
Oh, on your phone.
Oh,
I
of
was gonna say,
course.
not on my social media.
Can you see it?
"Oh my God,
That's
Are-
majestic.
were you rocking a stash too?"
I wish. I can't grow much
sort of
facial
like
hair.
He was wearing like a fake mustache.
Just Sharpie one on.
I know that would have been pretty powerful though, man, if you could have done that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. No, it does not down there.
Okay.
Oh wow. Well,
If you call my phone, they can see it in a very larger scale, but you don't have to.
yeah.
Well, you're probably my most recent anyway.
I'm glad to know you guys work together this closely too. You got each other's pictures on your phones. It's very.
It's not there. I thought it would show up as a whole
Oh
thing.
man, I'm disappointed.
Lies.
Can you grow the mullet back? We'll do a part 2 of this next year around this time. You know?
Whew, that's a
sweet
hefty
stash.
dedication, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, the stash will take at least a year. So
I'm willing to contribute to the Athletic Foundation today if you will get that mullet back. That's all I ask.
Well, that depends because that has to have a value.
It has to have a dollar sign on it.
Yeah,
Well,
because anybody can be a part of the Impact Fund,
That's
which
right.
Ryan is our leader as far as on that side, and that's again to raise unrestricted dollars to the Impact Fund, and he and Lexi do a fantastic job of both fundraising and finding new members and getting our members to continue to increase and give on an annual basis. But, and this isn't a negative thing, this the simplest part and the way to be a part of the Impact Fund is minimum 50 or 100?
50.
$50
Man.
donation. So you could say, Ryan, grow your
$50?
mullet back for $50. And let me say,
Hold on.
no, wait, no,
Go.
Wait, no, you hold up. We got a new member here sitting right across from me. Don't tell him to hold up.
Hey, let the record show $50.
There we go. Our new
Give me a mullet. That's all I want.
This
I might need more than that for the mullet, but we're happy to have you as an Impact Fund member now.
There you go.
This is the easiest conversation we've had to have a member come on board about the Impact.
Hey, at Monarch Roofing, we're legit head to toe, man. You throw me a
money where his mouth is.
I'm telling you, man.
Rob just carrying
and
50s
I do.
at all times.
And just in case this opportunity presents
And
itself.
now to be 2 for 2, we defer to the sloth.
Well, I'm not balling like Rob. It's got like it like
Rob,
that. It's all plastic.
Can you Venmo or something?
I'm gonna yeah. Check your PayPal account. It's magical what I just did for you.
Well, thanks, Rob. Welcome to the Impact.
Hey,
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Ryan, make sure he gets his welcome pack.
Oh,
Hey,
he will.
A handwritten note.
Hey, Precious is making it happen every day. That's the moral of the story here, man.
More of the story is that Precious makes it rain.
Yeah, he really did. I wish I had 51s on me and I could have made that really impressive, right? Yeah. Hey, I got just a couple more questions for you guys, and this has been a lot of fun. How do you guys get recruits at the college? I know there's different ways, but even when I was at Coastal, I talk about it was back in the 1800s. Even back when I was in Coastal,
21 years ago.
we were still driving Model T cars, and but when I was at Coastal, we would have people from like New Zealand coming here running on the cross country team. I was always so fascinated. How does Coastal do it? I mean, I think nowadays it's easier with the school and with the teams and all that. But do you guys have any insight on how they do it?
I'm going to let Precious take this because
Precious, you're
is
on.
a former student athlete himself for undergraduate, and then he's been a part of the program since he was a graduate student here.
Yeah, well, in undergrad, they did a really good job. They got me from New York to go to New York school, so they recruited me from pretty far away. No, but I think a big part of it is just our head coach's outreach. They're connected so well in the industry with other head coaches at other institutions here, as well as national team coaches and junior coaches overseas. So I think that's a big piece of it, and now just the national attention that Coastal's received in the last few years helps a ton as well. So as they bring recruits over and they see recruits from overseas succeeding, on our women's golf team, for example, I met with Katie Quinney yesterday. Mm-hmm. She said a huge piece is being able to bring people from overseas over here, seeing them improve, and then when they go back to their national teams, they have little siblings and friends, little siblings who look up to them as athletes, see it working and them getting better over here at Coastal and all that they have to offer. So,
man, that's such a cool story.
I think to piggyback on top of Brian's and what you've seen in the transformation and Denielle has seen, I think it's the brand recognition, right? So we have a unique brand and a unique color. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's cool from a young person or even a potential graduate transfer or a transfer student or an international student, whichever. We have a great destination outside of our wonderful and beautiful campus that is small and quaint, and that's important. And I think the third piece to that is you're seeing the investment not only from athletics, but from the president, our board of trustees, our provosts, and the entire university in building new facilities, not only for athletics, but for the entire campus, new academic buildings, re-renovating spaces. And college is about the best 4 or 5, sometimes for people 7 years of their experience, right? And what does that institution offer you for an experience? Mm-hmm. Not only, hey, yeah, we're going to get a fantastic, valuable education, like you said, as an alum yourself, an alum for all 3 of you. The value of your degree has gone up, not only from the experience you've gained in the careers you've had or are in now, but from the experience you had here at Coastal, the friends you made, the people, relationships you still have here. It gives you an opportunity to go back and speak at the Wall College of Business, or Ryan will go back and speak in the Sport and Recreation Management program. I forgot what program you were in.
Business marketing.
Okay, so the same for the college. So the opportunity to stay connected with the programs also is a big piece that, even though you may leave Coastal for graduate school, or if you stay, or for your career opportunity, you always can come back. And that's what homecoming is about, right? We're
Absolutely.
here. This is the week. This is the time where if I'm an alum now or in the future of Coastal, I'm thinking the week I'm coming back, if not any other week at Coastal, is homecoming.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm coming back because I'm going to get together with my fellow classmates from College of Business or from the Sport and Recreation Management program, or I'm going to meet up with my with my fraternity or sorority or my fellow student athletes that were on my volleyball or my beach volleyball or men's and women's tennis. And we're going to make a weekend of it and be an experience like we had when we were undergraduate or graduate students here.
That's such a cool thing, and those are both great points by you guys. I mean, I kind of thought when Ryan, when you were talking about these students and they see maybe their friends come back and they're like, wow, look at what you did. It's almost like when you go to the gym for the first time and you see that guy over there, you're like, I want to look like that guy. That's what I want to do. That's kind of what's happening, right? And then and then with what you're saying, I think that it's really true, Vinny. I remember years ago, I've been a Charlotte Hornets fan and NBA for a long time. And, when they weren't even good, it's just the colors, the teal colors. You see people rocking Charlotte Hornets gear, don't even watch basketball, and it's like, but the difference with Coastal is we have that unique brand and that unique look, but we have a killer head coach of the football team. I mean, a lot of great coaches here, but, the football's getting so much attention. So we're having success, the baseball team, the success levels. And it's just, you can be proud to be a CCU student or alumnus or teacher or anything else you're doing out here. So very powerful stuff. Hey, guys, I want to give you a chance. Is there anything else you want to tell us about what's coming up? We know it's homecoming week. There's the gala coming up. You want to talk about that at all?
Sure. We have a lot coming up for homecoming week. We referenced very earlier in the beginning of the podcast, we have our Hall of Fame induction for 2 Hall of Fame classes on Friday. There'll be a Hall of Fame dinner, and then on Saturday at the homecoming game, we kick off at 2 p.m. During one of the timeouts and or at halftime, we'll recognize those 2 Hall of Fame classes. We have, let's not forget, we play football against Georgia State on Saturday.
Nice.
But on Sunday, women's volleyball plays a huge Sun Belt Conference game at home at the HTC Center against Appalachian State, which will be huge. So we really want to get our alumni, families that come in for homecoming, friends of Coastal, and just fans in general to come out. Have a great day in the parking lots, tailgating, enjoy the game against Georgia State, but don't forget to come back on Sunday and see our women's volleyball team take on Appalachian State. And then what else we got? We got a number of alumni gatherings. Ryan talked about the golf outing. You want to talk about the gala?
Yeah, sure. So we have our annual Chanticleer Gala coming up in May on the 21st, which is a Saturday. It's always down at the Marriott Grand Dunes Resort and Spa in Myrtle Beach. It's presented by King Construction. There's a cocktail hour, live music, silent and live auction that takes place. So it's really just a great opportunity for businesses to not only give back to Coastal Carolina athletics, but get their brand out there as well. We have over 500 attendees in attendance each year, as well as our silent auction being online. So people that aren't able to make the event can still view all the items online and bid on them ahead of time as well. So it's really just a great opportunity to support Coastal and come out and have a great time.
Man, that sounds amazing. And I definitely encourage everybody to go out to that. And, it's such a beautiful atmosphere out here. I love looking at the stadium and that atmosphere we have today. I encourage everybody to come out to homecoming game. Let's fill these stadiums up and represent like the school we are with the school spirit we have. So
Pat Brooks, Rob. That's the hashtag.
Yeah.
Monarch Roofing, I want to see it.
Darn straight.
Hashtag Pack Brooks.
Pack Brooks. I like it a lot.
Brooks. That's where we're at right now, and that's what we want to see on Saturday is preferably in teal. Don't know what we're wearing yet.
Yeah,
but, preferably in teal, but hey, white. We did a blackout.
I got to tell you, the blackout looked good the other day too. That's definitely a good thing. Hey, and you know what? I'm winking at my social media person right now. Hashtag Pack Brooks. We definitely
CCU Pack Brooks.
That's right.
And while we're talking about
hashtag
media,
Green Bean,
go give CCU_CAF a follow on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay, nice.
We'll post any good updates on that.
Twitter, Instagram, CCU_CAF.
I like it. Beautiful, guys. That's great stuff. And by the way, just one other thing, look, donate to the Chanticleer Athletic Foundation. This is a very powerful thing. I can tell you, we're not going to say it right now, but when we finish up, Monarch Roofing definitely wants to support this. We are going to do a sponsorship with you guys. Very excited to have an opportunity with that. We're very honored to have the opportunity.
We got a new member already today.
And I'm a $50 member today personally.
There we go.
So you see how this works. Hey, fellas, I appreciate this very much.
Thank you.
Green Bean, Precious, you guys have been amazing.
One more. That was what we call in boxing, for you listening and watching, a subtle jab.
A very casual jab.
Very casual. Throw that back at you. Sloth. Maniac. Pleasure.
You got it. Hey, no, seriously, Vinny, Ryan, much pleasure. Thank you so much for being here today, all right?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rob.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. This is Crown and Connections with Rob Clemons and Monarch Roofing. Thank you.